Hello guys, and welcome to another video. I'm Misu from TradeUpSpy, and today I'm gonna be showing you how to use our tracker tool, because there has been a lot of people that ask me how to use it, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of a walkthrough so you can understand it and take advantage of it. So let's remember that we reveal new trade apps every Wednesday and every Saturday for the premium trade apps that are right under here. And let's say that we want to track a trade app. We could use one of the weekly trade apps and hit this button, or in this case we are going to use the calculator, and I have already set up a trade app here. This is this week's weekly trade app that has already been released, but at the moment that I'm recording this it hasn't been released yet. So as you can see, the cost is 1.71 USD. I'm gonna be using euro as well as USD because in the Steam market my local currency is euro, so yeah, it will be easier for me. So imagine you have set up a trade app. In this case, this is mine. I'm gonna give it a name, and well, I have already modified the prices and basically changed whatever I wanted. And let's say that we track it. I'm gonna call it a spur change, just like the weekly trade app, and we can track it and save it into our account. So if you are logged in, you can do this. Now if we go to the tracker, it will be right here and you can open it, and you can see a good layout of everything, of all the details of this trade app. So here, this is the summary in the header. You can see the estimated profit per trade app and the cost per trade app. These are the collections involved with how many of each skins you need. The rarities, this is going to be a trade app with industrial inputs and mil-spec outcomes. It is not a stat track, and this is to keep track of how many trade apps you have completed. We will check this out later, don't worry. Here you can inspect the trade app and edit it, or you can remove it. So if we go to the content of the trade app, we can see, well, the trade app is divided in columns, one for each collection, and you can have sub-columns inside of a collection if you have more than one condition. Imagine you have factory new and minimal wear here, you could have another column for minimal wear. This tells us the condition that we need. This is how many skins we need from this condition and collection. And this is the float value required of this column. So you should get one skin of factory new from the -2 collection with a float value of 0.034 or less. It should be less than this number because there is a formula that we use to calculate the outcomes, and you should respect this formula, because if you go over with this formula you calculate an average float, and if you go over that average float you can mess up the trade app and get different outcomes. So please respect this if you want to get the outcomes that you calculated, okay? I will go back into these checkboxes in a bit. These are the prices that you are aiming for. This is the price that you set up when, I closed the window, but this is the price that is set up when you make the trade app in the calculator. This is the target price, and the prices should be around this value if you want it to have the same stats of profitability and cost and all of that. And if we go down here, these are all the possible inputs that you can use for each condition and each collection. So for the factory neo from -2, I can use this tech 9, this out, showed off, this Mac 10, whatever. they are ordered by price. And okay, let's say that we have everything ready, and now we want to start buying the skins from the Steam market. So what do I do to do this? Okay, so I make sure that all my checkboxes are enabled. Are not enabled, because you can click them and enable them. You can restart the checkboxes if you have completed a trade up. But well, I check that all of them are not enabled. So now, next thing I do is I go to the market and I try to buy a skin. Let's say that we are looking for this one with a float value of 0.034 or less. So I go to the market and I check the skins. I use the CSGO float market checker, so the float is shown right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to refresh this, and when it is refreshed, I'm gonna sort by float, and as we can see here, there is a Tech 9 with a float value of 0.016, and the price is really close to what we mentioned before. See? I'm gonna go a little bit over so I can show you how to do it, but you can wait and try to adjust this as much as you want. So let's buy it, and now that we have bought it, I'm gonna remember this float. Okay, so I'm gonna round it to 3 decimal places, so I'm gonna go with 0.017. So now if we go back here, I can write 0.017 as this is the float that we just got. Okay, let's save. And this is the first skin that we got, and it's way below the float value required, so that's very good. I will mention later why. So now let's go for the next skins and try to get some of them. I'm gonna skip this step to make the video shorter, but you get the point. I'm just gonna buy them close to this, and I'm gonna write down all the floats that I'm getting. Okay, so I've managed to get all these skins for the prices very close to what is shown here. And as you can see, I'm still missing some of them, but as you can see, I've gone really below some of the float value required. In some of them, it's very small, like this one. So remember that I mentioned a formula before, that the average float shouldn't be higher than that formula. So this tells us if we are below or above that target average, and this acts as a margin that tells us how much we can go above the target average, and we can use this to get floats higher than the ones that are required. So as you can see, I have a lot of margin. So for example, let's say that I get a field tested with a float value of 0.24. Remember that this is the target float, so we are going over by 0.03, and as you can see, we are still positive in the average. This is because we have gone so low in the other floats that we can do this. We can afford to do this, and the formula will still work. So this is why it's very interesting, and you don't need to get many skins with low floats, because sometimes I can get a float, for example this one, this is a very low float from the market, and we can take advantage of this to make many more trade ups. So I'm gonna try to get a field tested. Let's see. For example, let's see if we can find one with a float not very high. Okay, for example, this one. It's close to the price. I'm gonna buy it. I'm not gonna adjust it because I'm just trying to show you how to use it. But this one is 0.25. I'm gonna write down 0.251. So there we go, and we are still below the target average, so we are fine. We can do this again. Let's buy the factory news now. Let me get the other two and we will get back to you. And as you can see, the last 3 skins that I bought are really way over the float required, but that's fine because we are still 0.022 below the target float. So let's say now that we got this one or this one for 27. As we can see, it tells us that we are above the target average, and this is bad because we will probably get outcomes with float values higher than expected. So maybe we don't get a factory new outcome and instead we get a minimal wear. So we need to be really careful with this. But if we are below, everything is fine. And once you complete it, you can restart it and you can go over again, and this lets you get many more skins from the market and do a lot of trade ups, and this is what I use. And once you have completed the trade up in game, you can always go down here, hit complete trade up, select the skins that you got in game. So let's say we got this Tech 9 Toxic. You can modify these values, the trade up cost and the trade up time. You can just submit it, and if we go to the stats, we will see our net change. So this is our last trade up. As you can see, we went up by a little bit as the Tech 9 of that trade up is some profit. And you can use this feature as a portfolio of your profit. So yeah, this is the tutorial for the tracker. This is how I get many more skins that the ones that I should be getting from the market. That's because I go over the floats by a lot without worrying about messing up the trade up. So I recommend you to log in, save your trade ups and use this tool because it's really helpful. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful and wasn't really hard to understand. Hopefully I explained myself good, and I'll see you in the next video. Leave a like, please. Check out our website, and thank you for watching, guys. These videos are recorded on TradeUpSpy's website. We offer different features centered on CSGO trade ups. Our goal is to make our users maximize their profits. Please check it out, test our different tools, and start taking advantage of our services. Thank you for watching.